CBS reporter Chris Martinez is live in Carson City, where the parole board just decided Simpson's fate. Chris?
Michelle and Kenny, this was a unanimous vote by this parole board. They needed a majority of 7 members. This is a 7-member board. They needed a majority. They had 4 actually sitting in today, all 4 voting to grant this parole to OJ Simpson. This is pretty much exactly what a lot of folks were expecting to see today. There wasn't a lot of doubt that he was not going to be granted parole here, as he's coming up on his 9th year serving a prison term for this crime that he committed about 10 years ago or so. What happens now is they look ahead to the actual release of OJ Simpson. He cannot leave prison until October 1st at the earliest. And then there are questions about what will happen after that. He spoke today to these commissioners, this board rather. He talked about the crime at length, which was something people really weren't expecting to happen. And then he did what a lot of legal experts say he needed to do. He showed remorse. He said he was sorry. He apologized to the victims. He apologized to the state of Nevada. And then they also heard from Simpson's oldest daughter and also the victim of the crime, who both spoke in support of his release. So in the midst of all of this, Simpson says if he was going to be able to leave, he would like to move back to Florida. That now becomes the focus, certainly for him and his family, is how does that happen? Because once he is released, assuming it will be on October 1st or shortly thereafter, now we have to deal with the probation guidelines, and there are going to be some very strict guidelines. They say that will be followed very closely. He's going to have to be checking in with probation officers. They're going to have to get an agreement between Nevada and Florida to actually allow him to move back there. So there's a lot of things here that are still a little murky in terms of what happens next. What we know for sure is that as of October 1st, OJ Simpson will be allowed to leave prison a free man.
Chris, you just mentioned that we heard from Simpson himself, his daughter, as well as his friend and the victim. We also heard from the attorney. Which testimony do you think was the most effective for Simpson?
Well, certainly legal experts say that there were 2 things that were very helpful here and that this parole board needed to hear. One was remorse from Simpson, which they got. He mentioned it several times. So he might have been the most important voice they heard from today. But then also hearing from the victim of the crime, the victim saying that he has forgiven OJ Simpson, that he doesn't think OJ Simpson is a dangerous person or a danger to anyone, and he supports his being allowed to leave prison. So those 2 especially, of course, probably weighed rather heavily for this board.
All right, Chris Martinez in Carson City, thank you.